last-minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning ride is okay.
And staying in front of the day isn't always
Nice
as simple
ride.
as 1,
What's
2,
up?
3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
What's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I'm going to do a podcast on what I'm thankful for, because even though these are supposed to be evergreen, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this week is Thanksgiving in 2024. So if you're listening to it any other time, it don't matter, because I'm still thankful for these things. And what I'm going to do is just go through things that have happened to me in my career and kind of the step-by-steps of many experiences that I've had as a personal trainer that have led me to where I am now. But let me also say I am very thankful for this podcast, and I'm thankful for you as a listener. So I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family, and leave a review. That's very helpful for us. So let me get into it. In 2002, I had just finished a tour with a theater company, and I had moved to New York from Alabama. Well, I moved from Alabama to Atlanta. I was there for a couple years, and then I moved to New York City. And I auditioned for a show. The first show I auditioned for, I was very excited. And after I was done with the tour, I was like, cool, I don't ever want to do that again. It was not everything that I dreamt for it to be. So one of my friends was getting a job as a personal trainer, and I wanted to do that. The first time I ever said I wanted to do something for a living was because my martial arts teacher had a gym, and he owned a gym. He did exercise classes. He taught martial arts and worked out. And he was a certified personal trainer. And I was like, everybody wants to be like their martial arts teacher. And I was like, I want to own a gym, and I want to teach martial arts and have a gym and be a personal trainer. So in 2002, I went for an interview for my first personal training job, and I was told no. So after a moment, I convinced the person, because it was being very charming, I convinced the person so persuasively to let me meet the general manager, who hired me on the spot. So Marcus, you almost lost me. And Jeff, thank you for bringing me in. So I appreciate both of you actually so much. And I'm grateful to be a personal trainer for 22 years. And that's still what I am today. I'm thankful for wanting to move through the ranks as a personal trainer and to get more and more education. So I read the ACE book cover to cover, but then my first certification, because it was discounted, because there was a partnership, was NASM. And so I got my NASM cert, and I wanted more. So I got my ACSM, and I wanted more. So I got my NSCA, and I wanted more, and my pre and postnatal, and my AFA group fitness, and more. And I was grateful to go through the ranks and to start making more money as a personal trainer, and then grateful for the opportunity for somebody to see me and be like, hey, Rick, you're a really good trainer. We'd love to have you manage the gym. And so I did. And there were some things about it that I really liked. I felt like I was really good at my job, but also I made more money as a personal trainer. I was busy as a personal trainer. I made more money. I worked less hours. And eventually I wanted to go back to training. Now I was still training a little bit as a manager. I just couldn't do it so much because I had to work 45 hours a week. And so, and then to do closeout at the end of the month to make sure all numbers were hit. So I'm also grateful for a man named Doug Hatton who selected me to become a faculty member and to teach personal training, foundational classes for incoming CPTs. That changed my life, and so I am so very grateful for that opportunity because I've been teaching exercise science ever since. And Doug and his wife Allison, they moved to, I think, Australia or New Zealand, and I don't know if I've seen them since, but it was very powerful for me, and that was a great experience. And Doug, you significant impact on my life and my career, and I'm grateful to you for that. I am thankful for things that I didn't like moving to Miami to open a gym for a corporate chain, because it gave me insights into doing business well, because they did some things that were really well, and how well a company, any company could be run with that type of lens on. But it also taught me that in some ways, the way that I did not want to be treated or to treat people. So there's a lot of gratitude there, but it's not what I wanted. And I gotta be honest, Miami's fun to visit for all my friends in Miami. I don't want to live there. So I moved back to New York City with my tail between my legs. And I gotta be honest, it was good. I was grateful to move back, and I tried to move to Miami because I want to be closer to my folks in Alabama. Don't know if you know this, but Alabama and Florida touch. But south, east Miami, Florida, and northwest Florence, Alabama are not close to each other. And at the time, I map quested it. I had too many EDs in there, but I map quested it. MapQuest was what we had before we had GPS. And you could take from my apartment in New York City, which was on 123rd Street between Broadway and Amsterdam, to my folks' place in Florence, Alabama. And it'd take, I don't remember how long it was. And then I MapQuest Florence, Alabama to Miami, where I was going to live. And it was 3 miles closer. I was moving to Miami to be 3 miles closer to my mom and dad. So that was a pointless trip anyway. Moved back to New York. I could move downtown in New York City and I'd be closer to my folks. But I'm thankful that I made that trip. It exposed me to a lot of different thoughts of people. The concepts of fitness and training were different there. People were different. The lifestyle is different. So it opened me up to that. I'm thankful for enrolling into a master's program for exercise science and moving back to New York City to work as a trainer and an educator again. And I'm happy that I didn't burn any bridges. And I was welcomed back with open arms to teach those at the company I was with initially. And I'm thankful that we started teaching the NASM content, and that NASM sent one of their top guys at the time to teach our group how NASM wanted their content to be taught. So they sent Rob Retman to teach us. And at the end of several days, he pulled me aside and he told me that I should work for NASM. And I was like, no, I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated enough. I'm certified. I don't have all of these degrees and things like that. But I applied. At the time, I also rarely checked my emails. So I am thankful that I saw an email from a man named Rodney Korn saying NASM would like me to come to California to interview and do a weekend audition interview process, but that this would be their last communication with me. And I freaked out and I jumped on the phone. I emailed back, I probably misspelled every word, and told them yes. But I'm also thankful because I was a little bit torn at the time. And this is why. In order for me to go to NASM to do that, which would several months later, in between that time, a friend of mine, Josh Zittimer, asked me if I would be willing to be Kanye West's trainer in a European tour. And this was probably in 2007, and Kanye West was on fire in '07. '05 or '06 is when Gold Digger came out. That album was incredible, and he was on top of the world. And Josh, I told him, I was like, I want to, but this NASM thing, do I turn down NASM? And he just stopped me. And Josh said, you're always going to have the opportunity to work with celebrities if that's what you want to do, but you will not get another opportunity to work with NASM. So go interview with NASM. So I turned down that European tour with Kanye West just to interview, just for the chance of working with NASM. And so I'm thankful. And I'm thankful in 2006 or 7, I can't remember, that I finished my master's and I started shadowing some of the top educators in the fitness industry at NASM, that they brought me on board and I started working with them and for them. And I was around brilliant people, like one of the most perfect educators that I've ever met in my entire life. He's so smart and he's funny. And I thought that I'd come in and I may not be the smartest, but I'm a good teacher, dang it. And then I saw Eric Beard teach and I was like, oh, I'm not even good at that. I have so much to learn on how to be a better teacher, a better communicator, a better speaker, and educated. And so Eric Beard was the pinnacle. He was the precipice. He was the apex of who I wanted to be in that space as an educator. And I'm probably not there yet, Eric, but I will always try to look up to you and be as good as smart as brilliant and capable as you are as an educator. So I appreciate you for being that for me. Also in 2007, a guy came to my workshop that I was teaching for NASM, and he was like, you're in New York, I'm in New York. I work at a high-end residential building. You should start training there. And I went to interview with a great guy named Jay Wright with The Right Fit. And Jay was a big part, changed my life. He was a great person, a great man, and it was a great opportunity. Also, Jeff Hatton came to see a workshop that I did, and he offered me a job as an adjunct faculty member at California University of Pennsylvania, now UPenn West, to teach exercise science workshops online, which was good because soon I would be on the road traveling with somebody, and that would be very, very helpful. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM One, the membership for personal trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations. Access free CEUs and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to nasm.org/membership to learn more about NASM One. I went back to school in 2010 for massage therapy. That was a 16 or 18-month program. And during that time, I was training a guy. And after I was done with school, I was like, hey, man, you come into town. We train 4 or 5 days in a row. And then you leave town and I don't see you for a month. And then you come in and you train 5 days in a row. And then you leave town and I don't see you for a month. And your schedule's way off. If you keep telling me that you want to do this, you want to get in shape and change your life and your body and everything, then you're going to have to really commit. Like, you need me to travel with you and train you. And he said, well, send me a proposal. So I wrote a proposal and he said, yeah. So in 2011, I started training this gentleman, and it turned into 3 years of me working with just this one guy. And that was incredibly lucrative for me. It was tough on my family because I was gone. I would be home for 2 weeks, gone for 2 weeks. Now, when I was home, I was home. I worked an hour a day. So I was there with my wife and my kids. But when I was gone, I wasn't there. But I was still gone and able to teach those exercise science classes online. So that was really helpful. And I'm also thankful And this is weird, but I'm also thankful that at one point I was pitched to be Diddy's trainer. But I gave my guy that I was on the road with the right of first refusal if he wanted to keep working with me. And he waited for a few days and then he got back to me and said, yeah, let's keep going. So thank God he said yes. And I turned down being Diddy's trainer, where I would travel and train him. Dodged a bullet there for sure. So 2014, when I was done with my work with the guy that I was traveling with, I had a little bit of money saved up, but not enough to open a gym. And I'm thankful for the SBA that allowed funding for me to enroll in this project that I had put together. And it was bare bones, and I'm happy and grateful that people still showed up. And so many things went wrong. The security deposit, I didn't even think about, wiped out a fifth of my gym money. So that sucked. The previous tenants didn't leave on time, so I'm supposed to move in and they're still there. Towels that I ordered were too small and that you couldn't even wrap them around your waist, and I didn't have enough money to buy new towels. So we just went with tiny towels for a while. I was like, I also miserable because laundry is so expensive. I don't know if you knew this, but awful expensive. And that when I ordered weights, the cost of shipping weights is just as much as the weights are, pretty much. So you're going to make your order, you're going to find out how much it is, and then you basically double it because that's how much it costs to get to you. So I'm so grateful that I was still able to survive, have a few ducats in the bank to keep it open long enough to get its legs underneath it. 2016, I went back to school for a doctorate in health science, and I'm thankful that that my wife, Jennifer, allowed me to do that, because she was like, that costs money, and we have a family of 3, and I don't know if this is how we need to be spending our money. And even though she was right, I'm still grateful that I did it and graduated in 2018. So 16, 17, 18, 3 years on my post-master's doctorate program. 2019, I pitched a podcast idea to NASM and a gentleman named Greg Esposito, and he said yes without hesitation. Now, we didn't know what it was going to be yet, didn't know what I was going to talk about, but he was so excited and he said yes, and we moved forward on it. And I'm thankful for my current podcast producer, Eric Sorensen. After Greg left on to other things, that Eric came in, and he's been such a positive person to be present as we're working through some of the glitches and the experiences that we have while making a podcast. And I'm thankful for a man at NASM named Rich Fahmy, who has allowed me to write several chapters in several NASM texts and courses, and I appreciate that. I opened up a recovery business, and it had to be closed because of COVID a few years later. I'm grateful that I opened it. It's heartbroken that it had to close, but that was devastating. More heartbroken that I had investors and I lost their money, and I lost a lot of my own money too, and that hurts. I have a great business partner in gyms. His name is Mark Miller, and we now own 5 gyms together, and I appreciate him as a business partner. And I'm telling you, not all business partners work out. I know that because I've had several businesses and business partners that just didn't work out. But grateful to Mark Miller and who he is, and the fact that we've opened, we opened 3 gyms together. I opened 2, and then he came in and he was like, hey, let me be a partner in your gyms. And I said no, and he just nagged me until I said yes, and fine. So he's here, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I also want to say that I continue to learn, I continue to teach, and I continue to love the fitness industry. And I'm thankful for everything that this industry has done and has been to me, and still to this day. If somebody asked me what I do for a living with everything that I just told you, I say I'm a personal trainer. And it's often the only thing that I will say. Now, there's a lot more that can be said, but that's the true calling. That's the love. That's who I am. That's what I do. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. And I know it's not evergreen, so be thankful no matter what time of year it is for what's going on and what's positive in your life, and keep looking for that silver lining. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. You want to reach out to me? Hit me up. You can do so by Instagram at dr.rickrichey, or you can email me, rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.